Hi there, it's Adam bringing you another video to the channel. We are continuing the 21-22 UK Model Airport Series in 1/400 scale. We are continuing with the Saturday schedules, heading more towards around about 10:15 time period. Yes, a few movements on here that I'd say collectively we probably don't see sort of all together too often. And I'm also excited to share some news, which I'll share at the end of the video as well. Things are finally sort of looking forward. Certainly, probably more towards as we head into New Year. But yeah, we're getting to the update itself, and like I said, I'll finish the video sort of advising what I wish to advise. So taxiing out. We have this SAS Scandinavian CRJ 900 registration Echo Sierra Alpha Charlie Golf, operating as SK540 back out to Copenhagen. Then where the CRJ 900 would have occupied, this EasyJet arrived, so obviously CRJ would have pushed back. Then the EasyJet would have, come in, arrived to occupy. Same stand, operating as on return as U28192, EasyJet A319 registration Golf Echo Zulu Delta Kilo, back from Milan. Then we have an Air France HOP E190 registration Foxtrot Hotel Bravo Lima Romeo, doing a run from and to Paris as AF1058 and 1059. Then we have the Ryanair UK 737-800 registration Golf Romeo Uniform Kilo Alpha, doing a return from Eindhoven as RK1108, and then we'll head back out to NOK as RK890 on a relatively short turnaround time, as you can imagine, 25 minutes or so, give or take. And then we have this KLM 737-800 registration Papa Hotel Bravo X-Ray Zulu. This will be heading out to, doing a run from and to Amsterdam as KL 1073-1074. Don't often see this, but again, it's just something that I kind of adapt to given the movements and obviously what aircraft we have in at the same time. So we don't often see a lot of Polish 737 MAX 8 on this side. It's usually featured more on the side we've just focused on of the layout. But registration Sierra Papa Lima Victor Alpha, doing a run from and to Warsaw as LO281 and 282. Then, as we saw from the last video, we have this Delta 767-300 registration November 176 Delta Zulu, doing the outbound run as DL123 to Boston. Then if we pan across, pushing back, we have this again featured in the last video, obviously now on departure. On pushback, 2E7879 Dreamliner registration Golf Tango Uniform India Lima, doing a service back out to Cancun as BY172. Then on the far side, again, rather late departure, scheduled late departure, we have the Jet2 737-800 registration Golf Juliet Zulu Bravo November, again about 3:15 departure time, out to Lanzarote as LS217. Obviously when the time does come for departure, obviously we'll get repositioned back onto stand for the load of passengers, of course. Pretty much just arrived. We have this Kalita Air 747-400 freighter registration November 403 Kilo Zulu. Operating CKS 330 on the inbound and outbound. So inbound from Leipzig, and we'll be heading out to Los Angeles. This is about a 2-hour turnaround, so it's not on the ground too long. Then of course we have the DHL 767-300 registration Golf Delta Hotel Lima Echo, which we're heading out to Leipzig much later in the day, around about 8:30 I believe it is, as DHK 362. So yeah, on the deck quite a few hours, that one. But yeah, just kind of pan around and give you a sort of recap of what was shown. So yeah, that's the update for this weekend. So in other news, I am making, well, initial progress, I want to say, in the next project. So in the other room that I've been sort of going on about, obviously been talking about different projects. I'm not really sure where it stemmed from, if I'm totally honest, but obviously it's kind of been on the cards for some time. In fact, no, I do know where it stemmed from. I was looking at my collection. Obviously I keep my collection on basically like an Excel spreadsheet, just so I've got a log of every model that I've got, easier to reference, and obviously then I'm not knowing that I'm not buying duplicates and things like that. It helps massively doing that. And in doing so, looking at that, I was like, you know what, I've got a lot of models in 1200 that are Australian and New Zealand. You know, and I kind of think, you know, I've got a lot of them models that, you know, I've acquired over recent times, and I've not really done anything with, and yeah, it's a bit disappointing. So that has influxed an idea to do a 1/200 scale model airport based on Sydney's domestic Terminal 2. Now, there will be a little bit of difference for me when I do that kind of project, in the sense that I will be including Qantas, I will be including Virgin Australia, Rex, Jetstar. Now, the most I think there's only Qantas that are actually at Terminal 3, I believe, which is not far away. If you look on Google Maps, Google Earth, whatever, you know, it's almost like the same section of the airport, pretty much. Now, I am missing a lot of Qantas Link models in 1/200. Yeah, there's an awful lot that I'm missing generally. Even I think a few models, Jetstar maybe, and things like that, in 1/200. But over time, you know, I kind of think hopefully, you know, I'll start acquiring what I am missing. And I do think occasionally there is the odd release of these models that are new models as well. So yeah, there's one or two that I've got on pre-order and I'm still waiting for as well. So they will obviously accommodate. Now, what I've done is I've made a deposit to layover layouts, and yeah, obviously it's just a waiting game really. I'm in no particular rush. Like I said, I pay now the deposit, which works well for me. Obviously, given the waiting time, I think you know, by the time my project gets underway, it'll allow me enough time, obviously heading into New Year, to get everything sorted. Now, obviously, I wanted to get that done first because that is the most costly aspect. I've also been in touch with Avgeek Models to do the 3D printed buildings, so like the two piers that you see at Terminal 2. It's hard to explain exactly what kind of area I'm covering from just a spoken perspective. If I had a visual reference, I'd be able to show you, but obviously that's something that you can probably anticipate when it gets underway. So I kind of thought, you know, it makes sense to do that, the more cost effective side of things first. Then obviously when that that layout comes, I can roll it out. I can weigh it down with books and weights and whatever else I can do, just so it obviously flattens out, ready for sort of the debut, if you like. It will be a kind of work in progress, so I kind of want to do like a work in progress kind of video series on that, as well as doing updates, because I also need to look at getting GSE as well. Like, I am lacking 1200 GSE, so that is something again that's going to be significantly important to the project, obviously, to make it look a bit more lively. In the room I'm going, I don't think I'm going to be messing about with the background. I just think backgrounds they're very difficult to come by, and given the project that I'm focusing on, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find a suitable background that, you know, kind of looks like Sydney or anything like that. So it's literally just going to be the blank canvas of the wall behind. I am looking to get some sort of lighting as well, like white lighting or something, like studio lighting, if I can, to sort of help the lighting a little bit. The lighting in this room is not too bad because obviously it's coming from behind. Now in this other room, the lighting will be coming from the side, which again is not too bad. But I just think maybe, you know, get some actual lighting. I need to look into that, to be honest. I ain't got a clue where to start with that, but obviously I'm hoping I'll find something, obviously hopefully something that's quite high on like a stand that can be on the floor, and then obviously raise up enough to accommodate for what I need, which should hopefully work for both photos and video as well. But yeah, like I said, obviously making progress because I've made the deposit to layover layouts. It is an expensive prospect, but you've got to admire the work they do, or Chris does in particular, who is the main contact. Yeah, they, like I said, the only piece I ever had was the little section from Midway, Chicago Midway Airport, which accommodated for a few Southwest and ATA and AirTran, which you'll probably find on my channel. So yeah, I think, like I said, I think the materials have changed since then, and certainly the website has changed since I last ordered from them. So I am somewhat familiar with the products, and yeah, I just think, yeah, I'm excited to do it because, like I said, I've got a lot of Australian models in 1/200 scale that I've not really featured on any kind of concept yet. I did want to do a 1/200 Manchester, but the reason why I've gone as well for the Australian concept is because of the layout. I think the intricate lines, taxi lines, the general concept of the layout, how many stands I can accommodate as well. The only thing that is a little bit limited is like obviously it is going to be domestic focused. It's not going to be international flights as such, so it is going to mostly base on narrow body aircraft for the most part. But the cargo section, obviously they do, you know, I've got a few of the cargo stuff like Australia Post. I'm kind of looking at them as well and thinking what I can do with them. But over time, like I said, you'll see the project unfold. When I get the layover layouts matte, you know, print, I will obviously show that as it is, like kind of raw, rolled out. Then obviously when I get the 3D printed buildings, we'll obviously showcase that. And this is what I mean, it'll be like a step-by-step kind of process. So I'm hoping you guys will enjoy that a little bit more. Because a lot of the videos I do on projects, obviously I usually do the airports myself, like the ground markings and stuff. So this is very different. But again, the reason why I've gone for layover layout is just all the intricate details like numbers, lettering, all that kind of stuff. Things that I'm not really good at. I'm generally, you know, like I think my layouts look pretty neat and things like that, but it's to find the details that I lack, because I'm just not, like, my handwriting's terrible, I'll be honest. Like, trying to write numbers and letters on the ground markings and stuff is something that I don't want to do because I just think it ruins it. So having it printed, it looks more professional, looks better. So yeah, obviously I'm looking forward to working with Chris at Layover Layouts and getting that project sort of sorted and obviously printed. And then obviously, like I say, I have Geek Models. They seem very accommodating for the terminal buildings and air bridges and things like that. So yeah, certainly done my inquiries. Obviously I have Geek Models. I've got a fair bit of GSE as well, 3D printed GSE, so I'm probably looking at them for that as well. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. And then, look, over time, the Manchester project, I might look at, or I might tweak a little bit. I might go with like a different design to accommodate for aircraft in a different way. A bit like the Sydney project, kind of look at that layout and then kind of maybe tweak it to accommodate for like a UK style, something like that. But this is something over the last week or so I've become very enthusiastic about, and I think my enthusiasm shows, given, like I said, I paid a deposit, which is not cheap, but it is what it is. And if you want a product, you've got to pay what you've got to pay. So yeah, I'm just excited, and hopefully you guys are, sort of heading into New Year. We'll see how things pan out. Now, obviously, heading into New Year as well, this project will probably come to an end once I've covered all the updates throughout the week. Overall, we've not got that many left to go. And then after that, it might be a 1/400 scale US project that I do in terms of focusing on Southwest again. Again, that'll probably be a printed layout with 3D printed building as well. So again, we'll stay tuned for that and see how we get on.